Hello, welcome back. So we got to get rid of some monsters here. They are spawning actually a little too fast at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Maria. And Maria here has a vicious glutton that's going to cause -1 to her roll. She only has 2 strength, but she has +2 from her knife and +2 because of this service piece. So 4, 6, -1 is 5. And she needs to do 2 hits. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And oh my gosh, she got 3 hits right there. So she kills her vicious glutton. And she's going to share this action with someone else. Or will she? Yes, she will. She's going to share it with... Or maybe she should share the ward action. The problem is nobody else can ward. Right now, Rex Murphy's engaged with somebody he's in trouble with. He can't kill this guy. He needs McGlenn to help, but McGlenn is engaged with somebody, and McGlenn is cursed, which makes it a double whammy. Dexter Drake is available, and so is Agnes. So Agnes can help him kill. So we don't need Rex. We can just use Agnes. Oh. Why is everything so tough? I'm thinking we're going to have Rex do the attack. It's such a silly attack, though. It's only 2 strength. We'll have McGlenn do the attack. McGlenn's going to do his attack. It's this Corpse Taker, which is -2 to his dice, and has 8 life, for Pete's sakes. And he's cursed. So, if I remember correctly, we are going to get 6 dice. 4, 5, 9, actually 7 dice. And only 6s count. All right, so that's a 5, doesn't count. That's 4. There's a 6. That's 1 hit. 1 hit. The good news is he can get rid of the curse. So he was able to pass a test, which means he got a 6. And so he is going to get rid of this. But now, yeah. Anyways, we get back to Marie, and she's going to do a ward action. So she has 4 lore. And she has 2. So she's going to get rid of 2 from her space. And we all know what that means. That means she gets a remnant. Her first one. So that's good. It's always good to have at least 1. I don't think you need to have 10 or 13 like the last character did. Okay, so now moving on, I'm going to do McGlenn's turn. And he can't attack again because she shared her attack action with him. But what I'm thinking he can do is he can evade. And he can also focus. So let's try the evade first. The evade, of course, is eyeballs. And he has a whopping eyeball value of 1. So we're going to roll. And he failed. And I'm going to spend my focus token there to pass, which is awesome. So this thing evaded, and now he gets another action. Well, he's going to stay where he's at. He's not afraid of the thing, but at least the thing's not going to attack him. And then for his last action, he's going to focus and just get that back. That's the reason why I never took it off. He's just going to spend a focus. So he's staying right where he's at, and he's not even going to take any damage, which is interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking he's on St. Mary's Hospital, and that's a place where you heal damage. But anyways, his turn is over. And I can do Rex Murphy and try to get in some hits, but I'm actually going to go to her and have her come in and attack. So she is going to take... She can use her remnant, but she's not going to. She's going to just take a strength or a damage, and that adds +2 to her lore. And then this spell and combination lets her. So her lore is 5, and then this is 6, 7, and she can use lore instead of strength for attack actions. So we're going to do 7. And she gets to reroll dice up to the number of clues, which are going to be 2 because of the hunting dog. So we're going to roll 7 dice to kill something. We're taking this off of him, right? So it's now engaged to her. This thing has 7 health. So there's probably no chance we're going to get all 7 hits, but let's... that's 4 misses. So we're already off to a bad start. And there's 1 hit, and I can't see this one. Oh, nope. So we got 1 hit out of 7, and then I'm going to use the dog to reroll these 2. And there's 3 hits. So at least something. So it's up to 4 out of 8. And now I'm going to try to evade it, but see, look, the evade is -2. It's really nasty, this thing. So that means I get to roll 1 die for the evade check. Now, I know it says after casting a spell, her heirloom lets her focus, but she already has a focus token, and the focus token only lets you reroll 1 die. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So during the attack action, I would have spent a focus to reroll 1 die, because I get a focus as soon as I'm done casting the spell anyways, so I'm just going to get that focus right back. So think of it as I get to roll 1 extra die just about every time, but it failed. So now I'm going to do a observation check, which is only 1 die, to see if I evade this monster. And of course I didn't. So this thing is now on me, and it's going to do 4 damage. And Rex Murphy has a chance to take it from her. But remember, his strength is only 2. So what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to do a ward action, which is 5 dice. And remember, he only counts 6s, so he has 2 successes, and he was able to remove 2 ward. Excuse me. And in doing so, he gets a remnant for Rex Murphy. All right, so what's he going to do with his other action? He could take the monster back, but I think what he's going to do instead is just focus, keep focusing. So we're going to grab a will for him. And he's done. And Agnes is done. So who do we have left? We have Dexter Drake here. So Dexter's in this weird spot where he can try to remove the doom from where he's at. And that's actually not a bad idea at all. Or he can try to help Mick whatever kill this thing, but I think he's gonna just do a move and then a ward, because he's got 5 ward, and yeah, that's gonna be good. And he failed all 5 dice. Wow. All right. Well, Dexter's turn is over, and the only one left is Ashcan. And Ashcan is still sitting all by himself, but there's 3 clues in his neighborhood, so he doesn't want to leave the neighborhood. That's the problem with him. So he's going to do the scrounge action, where he'll take a buck, and then he gets a $2 item for free. So he's got this magnifying glass for doing nothing. And we all have painkillers that showed up. And then he gets focus if he wants to, but I think his focus limit's 3. So we're going to grab a focus of, we're going to get that mind back that he spent, the will focus. He still has another action. He can't even ward or anything because there's nothing there. He gathered resources. He can't evade, he can't research. So he'll just move right back to his current location. Because he wants to stay where he is and get those clues. So Ashcan is not really helping anybody at the moment, and that's unfortunate. Okay, everybody's done. So looking at our monster situation during the monster phase, there's one monster on Agnes Baker, and there's one that is here. And what it's going to simply do is it'll just, it's just re-engaging McGlenn, but it's not going to hurt him this round. But the masked ones will hurt her, and she's going to take one mental damage, and she'll give it to the dog. Okay, so she's out, and he's out, as far as the encounters go. So I'm going to just flip them now. And now we move to Marie. Marie is in East Town. At the police station again. As you're about to leave the station, Deputy Dingme stops you and accuses you of littering. Despite your protest that you didn't drop anything, he forces something you've never seen before into your hands. I seen you, he says. I seen you do it. You gain one common item with value 3 or less. That sneaky Dingby always helping out. All right. I'm looking at the items that are 3 or less, and there's only one, and that's the painkillers. So it basically lets you absorb 2 more hits. So that's just as good as her little bulletproof vest that she almost took but didn't. And now we have an Otherworld Codex. That's pretty interesting. Okay, her turn's over. Dexter Drake is sitting in Ye Old Magic Shop in Uptown. Miriam Beecher agrees to teach you meditation exercises. You focus lore even if it exceeds your focus limit. This was just a taste, she says. So he already has lore focused, and it doesn't exceed his focus limit. But here's the thing, I have no more focus tokens left in the game, so I'm not sure I can do it. So that's really interesting. So I'm just going to take a strength token. I know that's not in the rules, but I'm doing it. I charge for the advanced classes. Reveal the top 3 spells. You may buy one of them, then put the rest on the bottom. So I'm happy with that, because although he has no money, dang it. So I'm not even going to reveal the spells. He has no money. That stinks. Okay, so he's done. Rex Murphy is on Historical Society at Southside. Come on, let's get a clue already. After a discussion about local legends, you speak to one of the Society's guests. So he's going to test his influence, which is now 5. Because he has 2 focus tokens. All right, I do have stars, and yes, they are 6s, so he passes. If you pass, you make a new friend with insights about the Devourer below. You gain 1 ally and 1 clue from the neighborhood. All right, I like that. Finally, something going our way. So drawing from the ally deck first, and then grabbing a clue, and Rex Murphy has a clue. An investigator or ally in your space recovers 1 sanity as an action. So he's got Zora Larson helping him out. Okay, he's done. We got, the only one left is Ashcan, who has 3 clues at his location. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a clue. It is Independence Square. A ragged scavenger has descended upon the sinkhole that opened in the square. He tells you one of the historic oddities he has found. You gain 1 clue. You can tell that he is talking to you in the hopes of making a sale. You may buy 1 common item from the display. Well, the good news is we have the fine clothes that lets us buy for half price. So we get the clue, which is the thing we've been looking for a long time. And we can buy an item for half price. Now, Ashcan's not much of a fighter, but there's some pretty nice stuff out here. I think I'm going to buy the shotgun because he has no weapon. Actually, nothing in his hands at all. And that's going to cost him $3 because he has to find clues. Once per round, you may pay half price. So that's pretty good. So now he's got a pretty nifty shotgun to go with his guitar. He's Way Cool Jr. I don't know if that song is a little bit before some of your time, or maybe a little after. Depends on how old you are. But he's Way Cool Jr. Okay. I'm realizing I'm grabbing from the wrong deck. Another weapon is out. It's a .45 automatic. Okay, so that brings us to the Mythos Cup. And the Mythos Cup has been nothing good. So these are the two that were left. And those are going to Agnes. And the rest are going back in the cup. We're going to end up spawning a lot more monsters, and we haven't killed the ones that are out there. Okay, Marie is getting these two. And then that goes to Dexter. And then Rex. And then these go to McGlynn and Ashcan. Whoops. Okay, I'm grabbing 3. Ashcan. Okay. Starting with the first person, we have a Doom and a Clue. The Doom is going in East Town at the... This is in both... There's 2 unstable places again, so we're going to go ahead and pick the police station. And then the Clue goes into Uptown, which is good because we have people in Uptown and they're clearing out all the doom that's there. So now they can finally get a clue while they're there. So that's done. Next 2 are with Marie, and we're going to get a clue. And this one's in the south side. So we already have 1 clue there. We just cleared 1 clue from there. Next, a monster and newspaper. The monster is a creeping ghoul. It's spawning at the unstable space, and then it's gonna just move towards the unstable space. It's pretty nasty, but unfortunately it's where Marie is, so it's going where the police station is. And then add this card to the codex and discard all other rumors. The value of each item in the display is increased by 2. If you try to buy something, you can do a negotiation -1 to avoid this. So I can think of worse things that could happen to us there. Okay, Rex Murphy is getting a Doom. And it's going on to Rivertown at the general store. So there's 2 Doom there now. We're grabbing a monster. It's a Flesh Eater. Spawns at the unstable space, which is the general store. And it's going to move towards the highest strength, which is probably McGlynn. And yeah. So we'll leave that be. And last but not least is Ashcan, and we got newspaper and a burst. So the burst is simple. That's going to be at south side. we'll take care of that right now. South side was almost completely clean, so that doesn't hurt us too much. Gotta reshuffle these cards. And put that away. Okay, the newspaper though. Add this card and discard other rumors, and then during the reckoning, each investigator tests this or suffer 2 horror. That's much worse. I would have rather had these the other way around. Okay, and we are done. We're now to the investigator phase. Okay, so looking at our situation, we have a monster here, we have a monster there. They're on the right people, so that part I'm not unhappy about. We know we want her to finish this monster off, we want him to finish that one off. We got one more that's going to go after the highest strength, and this guy's got 5. So McGlenn says bring it on. He's got his Chicago typewriter and he's putting it to work. The last one is we have this creeping ghoul all the way up here, which I'm pretty sure when it spawned would have engaged right away. Yes, it would have. And so Marie has one on her, which is also a problem. And I'm going to go ahead and go first with Marie again. And let's see if she can kill this thing. She actually has pretty good attack. She has 2, 4, 6 attack. Then she's going to subtract 1. So she has 5 attack, but she needs to hit 3 times. So that part is not good. But let's go ahead and try it. And she misses. Oh, no, she hit once. So she hits once. And then she's going to just give her attack action to someone else, and she's going to give it to Agnes. So Agnes is going to go ahead and spend her remnant instead of taking a damage, or will she? I'm thinking. Nah, she'll take a damage. She's going to give it to the dog. And she's going to roll 5, 6, 7 lore dice against this thing. And it subtracts nothing. That's the one good thing. So here's 5 of them. And she missed with all 5. And then 6, 7. She hits once. And she can spend a focus to re-roll 1. And she gets a focus at the end of casting a spell. So she hit 1 time. So this thing is now up to 5 damage. And it needs 3 more. I mean, she did a massive amount of attacking and did only 1 damage to the thing. It's awful. I can't say anything else about that. Okay, so her turn's over. And I'm going to go ahead and do Agnes. Agnes is now going to try to evade for 1. She missed, so she'll spend a focus token. And by the way, her second action is to get that focus token back. All right, so she was unable to evade. So she's stuck dealing with this thing. And it'll just do 1 mental damage to her, I guess. All right, so she's done. And we'll go ahead and do McGlenn, who's got 1 on him. And he rolls 5, 9 dice, minus 2 is 7. Okay, there was another hit in there, and that's crazy. The dice knocked each other, but that's only 1 damage. This thing only has 2 damage on it after, what, 2 rounds? I'm rolling awful. I guess one of you said I'd been rolling super lucky, so I guess I'm making up for previous days. So now I'm going to go ahead and try to evade it, which is just 1 single die. And that failed. So his turn's over. There's nothing he can do, and he's going to definitely take a big hit with this one. In fact, this thing's on the verge of killing him. I do have a healing spell with Dexter Drake, but it doesn't heal. Like, it's the mind that's actually going to get McGlenn from this Corpse Taker. And then another one's going to be targeting him soon. This is just, I'm playing a really bad game. Rex Murphy is up. He's in a space with another monster, but he doesn't have a good way to attack them. I mean, he could try to help Agnes finish this thing off, but he would need to do 3 hits, and he only gets to roll 2 dice, and he has to roll 6 with each one. So I think what he's going to do is first he's going to award. So we'll do 5. And there's 1 6 in there. So he succeeds at removing 1. And then for his second action, I guess we should try to do a research. Let's get a token out there. So he gets to roll 4 dice. And I did forget something. When he gained a clue, he gets $1 and gets to focus something. So first we're going to grab that $1. And then the focus is going to be another one of these observations. So he gets to roll 5 dice, and yeah, that's it. There's a success right there. So we finally got 1 clue on this thing with 6 doom. Can't say I'm quite proud of that. All right, and then Ashcan, who I keep forgetting to flip his token, he still hasn't gone. There's 2 clues on his spot, or he can go over and try to help Marie, and I think what he's going to do is go over and help Marie, unfortunately. Well, should he? Can Marie handle this? And the answer is yes, she can. So I'm going to let Marie take her hits. I'm going to stay where I'm at, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to scrounge because I can't get anything for free. Focusing doesn't do me any good, but I am going to try to research that clue. So I'm going to roll 3 dice, and I got a success. So the second clue is on the board, and then I'm going to, I think I'm going to move. I don't necessarily want to stay where I'm at. I want to get more clues from here, but I think what I want to do is I want to get closer to being able to move to another neighborhood. So I'm going to at least move 1 space. All right, so he's done. And then we just have Dexter. Now Dexter has only 3 strength, and remember I made the mistake of not taking a damage spell. I went for the thing so he can get more focus tokens, which seemed great at the time, but right now I think he needs to help McGlenn kill stuff. But what he's going to do is he's going to do a ward action. That's 5 dice. And he was able to remove 2. So he's going to get rid of 2, and that gets him a remnant. That was 1 action, and then he's going to focus, because that was the whole point of doing this, was so he can get really good at focusing. So he's going to take an observation so he can handle doing research later. Okay. Turn over. Monster time. The Corpse Taker is going to do 2 damage and 2 mental damage to McGlenn. So the mental damage is the big red flag, because look, he's at 4. So that's a problem. There is a church right over here that he can go to, which I think he's going to want to do. So McGlenn's an issue. He's got issues. He could die next round. And then coming over here to Marie, she's going to take 2 damage and 1 mental damage. And the regular damage is bad for her, but Here's the thing. She has painkillers. So the 2 damage goes on to painkillers, and then the painkillers goes away. So we just basically used up the painkillers. So she was able to absorb all that just fine. And then, last but not least, is Agnes, and she's going to take another mental damage, and she'll just put it on her character. Okay, now for the least fun part, the mythos part. Just trying to find a way to put this down. The last 2 in the cup, as you may have guessed, is the Reckoning and another Doom. So I'm going to hand those to Agnes here and put everything else in the cup. In fact, what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to put 2 in the cup because I draw everything else. And here's the first 2. The next 2. The next 2. The next 2. And the last 2. All right, so getting to Agnes here, we have a Reckoning, and we have the Horror. Okay, so let's do the Horror first. It's the easiest one. It's going to be Southside at Ma's boarding house. Oh, I put a mental damage there. Hold on. It's not a Horror, it's a Doom. Sorry about that. Now the Reckoning is harder. I'm putting a Doom on the scenario sheet. That part's easy. I'm at 7 out of 8 on that one. But now every single investigator has to check their will, or they suffer 2 horror. So I'm going to start with Agnes here, and she has a will of 3. All right, so Agnes suffers 2 horror, unless I'm willing to spend a token. I will spend an observation token to reroll 1 die, and Agnes still suffers 2 horror. Now we go to Marie. She only has 2 will. She passes. Dexter Drake has 2 will. He passes. Rex Murphy has 3. He fails, so he's going to take 2 horror. We'll put 1 on Zora here and 1 on him. And then he's going to go ahead and take a, because when he fails, he gets to take a focus token. And then we're going to go to Rex, which is, this is a bad situation for Rex. He can die. He passes. Otherwise, he would have died. That's how bad that is. And last but not least is Ashcan. Ashcan passes. Okay, so we get through the Reckoning. Now we do Clue. We're going to get 1 in Easttown, which is finally going to help Marie, who's been stuck up there, just trying to clean up the town. And both of those characters have been just stuck up north there. Everybody has. Actually, nobody's been able to really leave their location. So this is a weird scenario for that. Oh, I forgot. During the monster phase, this would have moved and engaged McGlenn, and it would have done another health and mental damage to McGlenn. So McGlenn's even closer to death than we thought. So, okay. So we did the Clue. Now we're going to do the Doom. Also in Easttown Police Station. Another Doom shows up. Moving on. Nothing. Monsters spawning, which is not good. We're losing this game. I really don't see myself winning. Spawn at the unstable space, which is the police station. So now she gets a second one on her. Not good. And nothing. Newspaper That's sort of funny. It's the reporter who gets the newspaper. Test will and resolve the effect. His will is 4 because he has focus tokens. And he gets he does pass. That was a 6. He gains a curio item and becomes cursed. Well, the good news is he can't become blessed or cursed according to his character sheet. So that part's cool. The curio item, I think that most interests him, because this one spends an action to remove sanity, but he already has a person that does that. So I think the best curio item for him is the Otherworld Codex, which gives him +3 as part of a ward action. So, and then Ashcan likes it because now we can get another item out here. Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting one. Every time you put horror on this, you recover one. So you sort of want to dish it out evenly between yourself and that. But it only has so many charges. Okay, moving on. We have a gate burst and a monster. So let's do the gate burst first. It is going to happen at Rivertown, of course. Everything happens at Rivertown. Nope, nothing happens at Rivertown. Actually, Rivertown's been a pretty silent part of the game so far. So I'm just grabbing 3 Doom tokens for Rivertown. Rivertown's now becoming a town somebody has to do something about. And that's there. And then the monster. This is the part that hurts because we have lots of monsters already on the board. And it's an Abyssal Servant. He spawns at street nearest prey. And his prey would be the investigator with the most clues, which amazingly enough is McGlenn. So he has 2 streets near him. So I'm going to put him on this street right here, the one that you don't see in the camera. I'm going to put him up there. And I'm not done. I got one more final Mythos set. I'm drawing a clue and then nothing happens. So the clue is going into Rivertown. All right, well, I guess some good, some bad. I don't know. We need 3 or more clues on that clue sheet, on the scenario sheet, to progress our game. And of course, if there's 8 or more Doom, they progress theirs. So we are literally 1 away in both scenarios. And we have monsters on almost all of our characters, and we have 1 character that's near death, or insanity. So let's start with Marie here, because she can give out free actions, and that's what we're going to do. She has 2 on her, and it's bad. But we're going to finish off this creeping ghoul, hopefully. She has 2 attack, 4, 6 attack. -1 is 5. She only needs to do 2 more damage. So we're going to do that. We're going to do 5. So she did 1 damage. It's not enough. Oh. She's actually doing okay damage-wise. I mean, it would be nice if she can kill her monsters, but like she has no damage and only 1 insanity on her. And the insanity is not the hard part. She can take some of that. It's the damage. And right now she'll get 2 because she used her painkillers last round. So she's in a little bit of a pickle, but I think she's okay. For her second action, she could try to evade this one, which will then get her out of it, or she can focus. She actually has a focus limit of 3, and she can get her strength up. Or she can evade, which is a check of a 2. She's going to try to evade. So she gets to roll 2. She failed, but she has a silver key that's going to let her roll again. Failed again. Well, that stinks, because I really wanted her to focus and get another strength. And if she would have evaded, she gets another action. So anyway, she's done, and she wasn't... So she's in a huge pickle. I mean, look at all the horror up there, and she's got monsters on her. Ashcan Pete has no choice but to go over and help, and he's got 2 clues in his area. So this is just an awful... Everything's going bad. Just leave it at that. And her turn is over. Now, of course, the free action she's giving is she's going to let somebody else attack. And that somebody else that she's going to let attack is, of course, McGlenn. And McGlenn's going to roll 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice? Yes, 7 dice. We got to finish this corpse taker. There's 3 hits, which is better than what he's been doing. It's still not enough. He just did 3 hits on the corpse taker, but it's up to 5. And he's got 2 monsters on him. And she's going to take 2 mental damage to add her lore. She's going to get to roll her lore -1 and add all those successes to his. So her lore -1 would be 3. But it is a spell. You get +2 while casting a spell. So she's going to make it 5. She's going to add 5 more dice to his. Let's see if we can get this thing killed. Oh my gosh. All misses. Jeez Louise. All right, so McGlenn is now in a position where he can't move. He's got 2 monsters on him, and a 3rd one's going to come, and any of them are going to kill him because of his mental state. So he needs basically everybody to help him. He has 1 more action that he could spend to evade. And that's what he's going to try to do, to at least get 1 of them off of him. So he's going to, and it's 1 and only 1 die. And it failed. Of course it failed. I can spend a focus to re-roll that evade die, but I don't think it matters. Okay, so McGlenn did his free attack action, and we're in just a bad spot. So now I'm going to go to Ashcan, who has no choice but to go over and help Marie. So he's going to go over to help Marie, and he's going to take this flesh eater off her hands and engage it, and he gets to roll 3, 4, 9 dice. So here's 5 of them. That's 1 damage. Okay, that's 5 dice for 1 damage. There's 2 damage. So he was able to kill his monster, and he moved. So that was his actions. All right, Agnes is going to go ahead and go. She has a monster of her own, and she will spend her remnant to get +2 dice. So we're looking at 5, 6, 7 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1 hit. And 5, 6, 7 for no more hits. I'm getting a little upset. I do get to reroll number of dice equal to my clues because of my dog. So there's 2 hits. That puts us at 7 damage out of 8. So I'm going to spend this to reroll 1 die, and then I get it back because of my ability. I need 1 more hit. Nope. All right, so I just did 2 more damage to something that has 8 life points. And I'm up to 7 out of 8. And it's just, no matter what I do, it's just not working out. So now I'm going to roll my 1 die to evade. And I did evade it. So that part worked out. I'm not worried about this one damaging me as much as I wanted to get a monster killed. So she's done, and now Drake and Rex Murphy have to help out. So Drake is going to go and try to help out McGlenn here. And the big dilemma is, what do I kill? This thing is 5 damage and going to kill him. This thing is also going to kill him. And Drake is going to... Well, Drake is going to take the Corpse Eater. And they're going to do... So he's going to attack this Corpse Eater. He only has 2 strength. He does have a +1 because of this. So for 3 strength, he's going to take on the Corpse Eater. I do see 2 hits, which is as good as other people who rolled way more dice. So once again, this is also at 7 out of 8. And he's going to go ahead and spend his strength token to re-roll one of his dice. And it's a miss. So no good. For him, I'm just testing, is there anything else he can do? There isn't. He gets +2 when casting a spell, and that's why I should have done attacks. If I would have taken that attack spell, it was a big mistake on my part. I thought having 2 powerhouse killers was enough, but these monsters were brutal in this scenario. So last but not least is Rex Murphy here. Actually, McGlenn hasn't taken his actions yet. But Rex Murphy, what he's going to do is he's going to come over and take McGlenn's other guy off of him. So we're just going to spread the love of damage around. And Rex Murphy only has a strength of 2. And let's see what he rolls. And he actually rolled 2 hits. Oh my gosh. And he killed it. So Rex Murphy rolled 2 dice and hit with both of them. So Rex Murphy did his job, and he actually gets a remnant for that. So very well done, Rex Murphy. And so he's just going to stay where he is. And now McGlenn, what he's going to do is he's going to move further away for his action. Remember, he already did an attack action, so he couldn't do another one anyways. He's going to move away from the hunter that's trying to hunt him. And get to the church that'll heal his mental damage. And there's not much else he can do, but he's going to either focus, which he can't, because he's at his limit. But what he is going to do is he's going to try to research. I know it's crazy, but if we just get one more, and it succeeded. So Rex was able, with 1 die, to get that 3rd token out here, and let's flip this card and see what happens. Holy buckets, what a dramatic game. Okay, so when there are 3 more clues on the scenario sheet, discard all clues. So let me discard the clues before I forget. The corpse in the butcher's shop must have been Saul Shantler once. Now it's nothing but a dismembered carcass, bones cracked and gnawed, flesh torn and eaten, as if a wild animal had been set loose. While you're examining the scene, Lisa Chantler, wild-eyed and carrying a torch, finds you. So I'm not facing this alone after all, she says. Then she gestures with a torch as a figure masked with a feral skull approaches, which I appreciate frankly. This charming fellow is part of a cult that spread through Arkham. My husband is just the latest victim of their ghoulish practices. If we work together, we can drag them into the light. The leader gains Lisa Chantler. Okay, so let me stop and find Lisa Chantler. She's not in all caps, so I don't know where. Maybe she was supposed to be in all caps? Or is she some kind of ally? Give me a second. I'm going through the... Lita Chandler. Okay, sorry, I've been saying Lisa. Okay, I did get Lita Chandler. So this is a bugged FFG. All of your unique items are supposed to be in all caps. That's not in all caps. Not to say I haven't made bugs in my video, but after you or another investigator deals damage to a monster in your space, Lisa Chandler deals 1 damage to that monster. Oh, that's going to be very helpful because this goes to my leader, which is actually Marie, and she's the one that's had all these monsters on her. So that's actually going to work really well with her. Okay, spawn the set-aside masked hunter engaged with the leader. Okay, so the masked hunter, there's this other deck of cards that they told us to set aside. And yes, there's the masked hunter. And that's going to engage the leader. So this is another one of those epic 8+ monsters, and it's got a -2 to your strength. So this one sucks. Never speaks, never slows, never stops. All right, so we got that on us. And that's just in time for the damage phase. Because I'm realizing we've finished, this is the last of our actions. Take cards 13 through 17 from the archive, shuffle each card into the top 2 cards of the corresponding neighbor deck, and place 1 marker face down in each neighborhood. Add card 12. All right, so lots of stuff are happening here. So 13 through 17, they're pretty easy to spot in the archive. In fact, they're the only ones I sleeved in the archive because I knew, see, they're the ones that have the card backs that match all the other cards. So you know darn well they're being shuffled into your decks because they have the card backs. So I sleeved those and didn't sleeve the other ones. Anyways, basically these are like clues. So they're asking us to shuffle these just like if you got a brand new clue into each of the decks. And there's 5 locations and each location's getting one. And basically, 1, 2, I'm grabbing 5 of these and just putting one in each location to indicate that we haven't found the card. I'm guessing that's what this means, is we need to find these cards in every one of those locations. So it'll take some time to get those shuffled. I'm at 52 minutes, and I think the other thing it says is I need to add card 12, so let's do that real quick. And false faces. Between your investigation and Lita Chandler's discovery, it seems there's a group of cultists acting within Arkham. They cover up the disappearance, Lita explains. They've been doing it for years, but we've only just noticed. How is that possible? The cult must be larger than I imagined. If you're to save Arkham from the ghouls and their hungering master, you'll need to find and dismantle this cult. After a worshipper of Umordoth spawns, discard the marker in its neighborhood. After a worshipper is defeated, return that worshipper to the game box and place 1 marker on this scenario sheet. So basically, we have to find all 5 of those cards that we're shuffling in, because they're all going to summon one of these worshipers. Then we have to defeat the worshipper. And then once all 5 have been defeated, if card 11 is still in the codex, flip that card. And card 11, by the way, is the one that says if there's any more doom, flip the card. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now and get this shuffled, and we'll see you in a few minutes.